Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name's Lainey. I have a fun video for you guys today that I've been working on and thinking about since last Fashion Week, and that is the question we're all asking or already know the answer to, and that is, did influencers ruin Fashion Week? If you already saw me in this top, in this exact location in my last video, mind your business, baby's sleeping, I'm filming all the videos I can while I can. Okay, let's get into it. So the first question I had just regarding Fashion Week and influencers and everyone who goes is, when was the first Fashion Week? So what I found out is what initially was called a press week was the first Fashion Week in New York City in 1943. So during World War II, the fashion shows in Paris were canceled, making it impossible for US journalists to go to France for fashion inspiration. So it was kind of a way for the US to show off American designers, US journalists to see the best of the best at one place and one time. And going even before this, the first actual just fashion show was 1903 in New York, and it was kind of this like closed-knit, very exclusive way for buyers to see what they wanted to purchase and sell in their stores. And what was so different about the fashion shows then before Fashion Week was the people who attended knew to like not take pictures, not even talk about it, and have no like PR or anything like that, because it was such a like secret of, we don't want other designers stealing our ideas and copying and so forth. And I know influencers now go to Paris Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, Copenhagen, all of that kind of stuff, but I am focusing just a bit more on New York Fashion Week because I feel like it tells the story of all of them. So during the first Fashion Weeks, stylists and buyers were still invited like the first fashion shows, but we also had the publicists, the journalists, and people there to spread the news and share what was shown on the runways. These shows were more public than the former just fashion shows, and obviously it was before influencers and online and vlogging being so shown and broadcasted widely. But now it's kind of the question of like, are these shows even worth it? Worth all the money put into it, with how online buzz and publicity and PR can be shared and form without a show, without spending any money. It's not that, is it a waste of like these influencers' times to go, because obviously they're making so much of it, they're making the content and forming connections, but more so, is it a waste of time for the stylists and the journalists to be there and kind of report on what they're seeing, when evidently most of it has already been talked about before Fashion Week, and then these influencers or celebrities will be sharing it as well. Maybe even like a bigger group of people. Okay, so it wasn't until the 1970s that celebrities started joining Fashion Week and attending, and it was then that the event was more of a, I'm gonna quote the Zoe Report, a cultural phenomenon than a step in the supply chain. Zoe Report has an amazing article about all of this, and they interviewed Veronique Hyland, Elle's Fashion Features director, and she even goes to say that the biggest change over time has been the audience in New York Fashion Week. So now that we cover who used to attend, it's kind of the question of what's the difference between celebrities and influencers, and is one better than the other? Do we prefer one over the other? I don't know. I feel like we're getting into a lot of like history right now, and we'll get more into my opinions later. So New York Fashion Week is obviously showing emphasis on how to cater to their demographics, which right now is Gen Z, for who's there. And the best way to get to Gen Z and through Gen Z is with influencers. These are the people who Gen Z is going to be watching at the show, see what they're wearing, where they're going, who they're wearing, and will have a lot more pull than some very famous celebrities. Gen Z are going to be the crowd with the buying power and who they're marketing to, so that's what's important for New York Fashion Week and designers at this time. So that's why New York Fashion Week prefers influencers now. We see a lot more than celebrities attending the events, and obviously we still see celebrities, and there's such like a fine line between being a celebrity and an influencer. A lot of celebrities are influencers, but not all celebrities are influencers. That's a whole different topic. Something that I've definitely noticed, and is just a thing in general, is how accessible New York Fashion Week is. Like I said, the first fashion shows were private. Nobody could talk about them really, and now it's you want everybody and anyone talking about it. I went to Fashion Week 2 years ago just to go with my friend who was a model and be in the city. I was not invited to anything, I didn't do anything. But when I was going, I didn't know that you could sign up for fashion shows and sign up to go to fashion shows. You don't have to be invited, you don't have to be anybody. A micro influencer could have, you know, their manager call and get them invited to things, but they could just as well call themselves and get invited, be on a list, but you're just writing your name down and saying, I will be attending, and filling up seats. Obviously, this is for only certain shows, like the best of the best probably won't let anybody come in, but a lot of shows, you can just go, get yourself on the list. It's accessible. So not even talking about celebrity influencers, something else that I've realized is, do we have an issue with what type of influencers go? Do we only want to see fashion-focused influencers, or do we want to see more relatable influencers go? Do we want to see an influencer go in all Louis Vuitton, Chanel, dressed to the nines and so expensive, or do we want to see an influencer go real life clothes, H&M, Shein, or do we want to see an influencer go in an all thrifted outfit? Still unattainable, but in a different way. It's funny what preferences the viewer has, and it's kind of a decision on the brand of who they want to represent and show off and style even. Based on the viewers of that influencer. I think preferably I like to see influencers go who are wearing all thrifted or like secondhand or just more unique pieces, opposed to somebody who is just shopping fast fashion for everything. I feel like that doesn't say a lot about not even the person, but also just like what they see as fashion, and that's just me being annoying, I think, because again, it's so open now that anybody can go, it's attainable, but in our head, seeing an influencer go who maybe didn't get invited to anything, you could still have that envy of like, they're wearing all Shein, why do they get to go to Fashion Week? You could go to Fashion Week too and wear whatever the F you want. I couldn't find too much information on like Fashion Week events and installations, but I think something else that people get upset about when it comes to influencers at Fashion Week is all the free SHIT they get. I know PR pisses so many people off, and rightfully so. Seeing influencers get boxes and boxes of skincare, and whether they decide to sell it online, you know, for the same retail price when they got it for free, or if they just throw it away, or they just keep it in a closet for, you know, whatever, too long. It expires, it goes bad anyways. I can see like the kind of resentment you would get. Something I like to always, this is off topic, something I like to always just remind people is a lot of influencers get paid in product and don't make as much money. I know some people do make both and a shit ton. Would you rather make money and get to buy whatever you want, or would you rather get free shit at your door that you don't really care about and that's what you're paid in? I think gifting has always been a thing, especially for celebrities, or even just borrowing outfits, which a lot of influencers end up doing, borrowing purses, shoes for Fashion Week and returning them at the end, which I just feel like we should be a lot more open with, that we don't have just like endless closets. I've never done that, but I don't know why I'm saying we. But I know at Fashion Week, there are so many events now where influencers get to take home so much free product, and it is a form of advertising for the brands, and I don't really know where I'm going with this now. A payment for the influencers. And this is where there was like a hole of information, is I was trying to find out when these first kind of like giftings and more like installation events, not just fashion shows, were occurring in Fashion Week, because what came first, the influencer or the insane amount of PR? I think celebrities were always getting PR like this, and it was just, social media was totally different. They weren't posting, celebrities were always getting PR like this. They could go into a store and get a bunch of shit for free. But the difference is influencers, which I'm not saying influencers are the same as celebrities. Influencers kind of lifted this veil of showing and being honest and open and relatable, of the feeling of like, oh my god, this is insane. I just got all this rare beauty at my door for free, where, you know, a celebrity wouldn't be posting on their story because social media didn't exist then. So I feel like that's kind of where this like hatred for influencers came, is they're just showing what celebrities have always had, but in a more relatable, they're a real person type of way. So I feel like these giftings were always happening. They were always happening, but again, influencers just showed what happens. So don't hate the player, hate the game. And I think the last thing I want to talk about are just like influencer outfits, and this kind of went into like what influencers get to go, having like a fitness influencer there, or even just like a lifestyle influencer next to an influencer who focuses on designer fashion. It can be very jarring and like not make sense in that way.
Okay, editing and watching this back, I also just want to note that why do I think that only certain influencers should be able to go to Fashion Week? Influencers that actually care about fashion and not just shopping fast fashion and care about the outfits they put together. When first of all, most of Fashion Week now is all fast fashion. Fashion Week isn't as exclusive, not only with the audience but also with companies that go. Literally, I think Shein like had a show at Fashion Week, so why wouldn't Shein influencers be at a Shein show? Okay, then also, why do I care so much about the influencer that's going and that they actually care about fashion when any celebrity could go? I was looking at these photos of like the celebrities that were going. They're actors, they're singers. They don't have anything to do with fashion. They have stylists. We've probably never seen a single outfit that they have curated themselves. Why do we still just hate influencers? I'm literally technically an influencer. I have this same like ego with them.
The outfits are what make people upset and, you know, get online buzz of like, so and so literally wore this H&M set to a blah blah show. I don't think influencers ruined Fashion Week. I think Fashion Week ruined Fashion Week. I don't think that attainability is what ruined Fashion Week. I think it's just the too much. I think the attainability of going to Fashion Week is still there, but for so many of us watching the Chanel show, we will never own anything from Chanel. We can get inspo from these outfits and, you know, thrift them and or even buy them fast fashion once they trickle down the line, but a lot of it just seems so out of touch for the most of us, and seeing influencers get to, you know, just borrow these types of really expensive pieces, it's ruining that relatability influencers did have with their viewers. Relatability, people talk about it so much, but that is normally what keeps an influencer going and keeps their audience engaged. If we wanted to just watch someone live like a luxurious, unattainable, unrealistic life, we have reality TV, we have movies, actors, real celebrities. But I really want to hear what you guys have to say about this. It's always so funny when I do these type of videos and I'm just like talking off my notes app and like reading my script. It makes absolutely no sense, but I hope it made some sense once I finish editing that. I say this every single time. Let me know your guys' opinions on influencers and Fashion Week in general, because it's fun to talk about. I don't think I'll ever go again. But that's it for this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. I have a lot of fun videos coming. I love you guys absolute most. I'll see you in a few days. Bye.